Hello, everybody. I'm at a park in Kilgore, Texas called Driller Park, and this is a Happier Abroad related video. And before I start, I want to say this to all my subscribers. Some of you who are not interested in videos like this, you guys can go ahead and unsub to me if you want. Or if you're interested in all the videos on my channel, just stay on as my sub. Alright. In this video, I just want to talk about just one of the worst things that happened to me the other day. I went to Dallas with my parents, and this all started when I was talking to my dad on the phone about healthcare in Europe and healthcare in America. He talked about healthcare in Europe was bad because people are paying higher taxes, and if you don't have a job, you won't be able to pay the bills or pay taxes. I don't know if this is true or not, but and my dad just complained about how high the taxes are for healthcare in Europe, and he said the healthcare here in America isn't so great, and he said that President Obama created the ACA, and he wanted to go farther enough to insure everybody. I think that's what he said. And my dad says he wants premiums on the healthcare in America to be lowered. He doesn't care about people going bankrupt over medical bills and losing their homes and dying because they can't get care. And 45,000 Americans or more die every year because they can't get health care. And he told me that healthcare in Europe isn't perfect. And that's what he said. Yeah, healthcare in Europe isn't perfect, but their healthcare is better, and it works. Even though it's not perfect and it has its problems, but it works. But my dad just want to focus on higher taxes, and if you don't have a job, you won't be able to pay the bills. And I think, well, actually, before I had a phone call, talk to him over the phone. I went to my parents' house and talked to him about, I can't find anybody to talk to. And my dad said that, society is set up the way it is. There's a class. You got to talk to certain people because it's a class, and that's how society works. That's how the British act. That's how the French act. That's how people all over the world act. It's a class in society. You got to be in a group. You can wander into another group and talk to other people in another group. Or if you're not part of that group, you're not part of that group. And I think that's what he said. Then he talked about, he told me about a long time ago when he was in the Marines, a fellow Marine and him were in Philadelphia, and some black guy got killed by some rival Italians because an Italian gang, because they wanted to buy a car, and they didn't want the black people there because they're niggers, and niggers don't belong here. Then he talked about the Japanese hate the Okinawans because the Okinawans, in my dad's words, are a bunch of monkeys who came to Japan and raped all the women, and they had like mixed race Japanese Okinawan people. And my dad my dad dubbed that countries around the world are bad because they have a lot of problems: rape, murder, crime, and America in America is great. And even though we're held down, this is one of the best countries in the world because we have freedom. We have freedom. So I told my dad, "Hey, I want you to watch something." So I let him watch a video on the Happier Abroad YouTube channel that's run by Winston Wu, and I picked out a video that my friend Captain Brandon Horror Lover posted a link to when he commented on a video that I had a phone call with my dad. Okay, he watched the video, and immediately he started to pick out when Winston Wu talked about people are paranoid, the women are paranoid, and my dad said this, yeah, because they think that they're murderers, they're gonna kill somebody, and the media reports that. And my dad said, "You know what he said?" I said, well, he talked about the no. What are you talking about? He talked about the murder. He talked about the murderers trying to kill women. Yeah, that's it. That's what he said. And when Winston Wu talked about going overseas and being happy and socializing with other people in other countries, and he said that not all you can't talk to everybody in other countries, countries like in the Scandinavian region and some countries in Europe. You can go to Eastern Europe or any part of Europe where people are sociable, and you can and when you go to a restaurant, you can sit and talk to them, and you have to worry about eating food alone in the restaurant. And my dad said, we went to Spain, we went to Europe, we saw people eating alone. And through the video, my dad heard something that Winston Wu said, that which he dubbed him as, like, where has he been living at? He doesn't where he's been living at, and he's nuts. And my dad, I think what he said, my dad brought up the fact that he said he's nuts, and he talked about, and Winston Wu on this video talked about how cheaper it is to fly to another country. And he said that when you get off a plane in another country overseas, I mean, all the weight and all the problems that you have in America will vanish, and you start to feel good about yourself. And Winston Wu brought up the point that when he was in some country in Europe, he knocked elbows with people and did played hopscotch with them, like with his friends. It was kind of funny, I guess you can do that I guess you can do that in a country overseas. Not all of them. And Winston Wu brought up the point that you couldn't do that here in America. And and he's right. And my dad looked at him and said that he's really good. Like, I don't know, I think he's trying to sell something. And it's like he all, when Winston Wu bashed America, talked about the problems in America and how America is, my dad said he keeps going back to America and say that America is bad. Like, America is so bad. I mean, where is he from? And I said, well, he's from Taiwan. He was born in Taiwan, and he moved to San Francisco in California. And he said, with his parents, when he was a kid, if he hate America so bad, then why is he here? It seems that he hates America. He doesn't like it. I think he's trying to sell something. I think he's nuts. And I just turned off the computer. I said, well, if you want to believe what you want to believe, go right ahead. So I just got up and left. I got in my car. My dad walked out to my car and after when I left, he said this: be careful And my dad's very paranoid because, I might get in a car accident, I might get hurt, or I might get hurt by someone, and he's paranoid, and he always say that, be careful, be careful. And when I got in my car, he walked out to my car and asked me, do you want a t-shirt? I said, yes. I sat in my car and waited till he went out and brought the t-shirt to me. Then he came back and said, well, come get the t-shirt. So I went in the house, got the t-shirt. I looked at it. I didn't like the t-shirt. It was very bright in color. It had some like religious text on it, some sort. I don't know. So I took the t-shirt and I went home. And before I went home, I went to Walmart, and it was a woman standing outside, and selling something. I said this to her, hey, do you want a t-shirt? She said, yeah. So I gave her the t-shirt that my dad gave me. I gave it to her, and she said this, thank you. And I went to get a can of soda out of the soft drink machine. I didn't say you're welcome to her because, people like my dad just rips me apart and just puts me down and just make me just feel terrible about myself. Like, made me feel like angry, just mad at the world, and just depressed, and just go crazy. And and I went crazy, and I did. I'll explain how that came to be. Okay, okay, at the beginning of the video, I went to Dallas with my parents, and I think before that, my dad called me. It was a Saturday morning. I was sleeping, and my sister knocked on the door to my room and told me, "Hey, Richard, phone call. Your dad wants to speak to you. Hey, Dad wants to speak to you." So I grabbed the phone. She handed the phone to me. I said, "Hello," and he told me, "We're going to Dallas today, and I want to drive your car. So I need the key. So I need the key to your car." Well, my car has a keyless entry remote with a key inside of it. You push the button, the key just flips up like a switchblade knife. And he had a set of keys to my. He had another set. He had another set to my car, and I guess he lost it because he's old and he's forgetful. And his mind is not that great. And I know it's like, okay. And I asked him, okay, you have the. Yeah, he told me that there was something wrong with his truck, and he want to use my car so he can drive it to Dallas. And I guess I want to ride with him there because I wanted to go to Dallas anyway to buy something there at a store there, I asked him, hey, I asked him, hey, what's wrong with your car? I mean, you got the Pontiac Firebird, and yeah, I was gonna say that, and he wouldn't let. He just cut me off. He said, "No." He said he had the. I said, "Well, you had the Cadillac. He had the Cadillac DeVille. He had the Pontiac Firebird." And I could barely say any of the names to these cars that he had, and he just cut me off and said, "No, they don't work." I said, "What's wrong with them?" "Richard, I don't want to hear it. Do you want to go or not? Because you're gonna take a long time, and it's gonna be at 10 o'clock." "And you're going to take a long time to get there." And he said, "That's okay. I'll go. I'll go. You don't have to go." So I changed my mind, and I said, "Okay, I'll go." And he said, "Okay, you got to be there. You got to be there at 8 o'clock. So I got there at 8 o'clock. Well, I got there after 8 o'clock because, I had that much time because it was after 7 o'clock. My parents' house was kind of far away from my house. It's kind of like a good, like 10 or 20 miles away. And, okay, I made up my bed. I went in and took a bath, shaved, brushed my teeth, and got in my car and drove to my parents' house. I didn't say anything to my dad about what was wrong with his cars or anything because he wouldn't tell me. He just refused to tell me, so I didn't want to say anything. drove my car there. Gave the keyless entry remote to my dad. My dad handed it to me, and he said that is there any gas in it? I said no, just not that much gas in it. And see, I didn't want to. I couldn't say that to my dad because my dad just didn't want to hear what I got to say. I was gonna tell him that, but he just didn't want to hear what I got to say. Okay, come to find out, my mother wanted to go with. My mother was going with us. I guess him and my dad were gonna. I guess her and my dad are gonna go to we're gonna go shopping in Dallas. So we got in the car, and my dad drove to a bank to cash a check in a city called Tyler, because he lives near Tyler. He lives in the heavily wooded area near Tyler, and stopped at a bank called Austin Bank to cash a check. Yeah, got it. Okay, my dad got in line at this motor bank, and some guy in a pickup truck was wearing a cowboy hat, and my dad said, "Oh, it's just a Mexican. Probably it's gonna take him forever. He probably gonna get some money and transfer all this money to Mexico." And my dad complained about, oh, the parking lot was a mess at the motor bank. Near after the bank, I asked my dad, yeah, well, we went there after he stopped at a gas station at a Walmart to fill up. And I think at the gas station at the Walmart, me and my mom talked about my dad was my dad, my mom, my sister, my father were overweight because they ate a lot of junk and they drank a lot of sugary soda that had a lot of sugar and calories in it, and that explains why my dad has a big fat beer belly gut and my sister was fat and overweight. Yeah, and my mother told me that she drinks a lot of water, and she eats right, and she doesn't eat a lot of junk. Well, she does. She eats a lot of junk. She barbecued a cucumber on a barbecue grill during Independence Day, when her and my dad were barbecuing chicken and hot dogs. Okay, after going to the gas station and okay, well, also my mother told me that my sister drank a lot of soda, and my sister told my mother, oh, I don't drink a lot of soda, I drink a lot of water. And that's not true, because I saw like cans and cans of Minute Maid fruit punch and high calorie sodas like 7 Up, Sprite, Coca-Cola, like cans, like empty cans, like all over this table. And she doesn't drink a drop of water. I mean, the only time she drinks water, she drinks it to take her medication. Okay, after that, yeah, after going to the gas station and Walmart and Austin Bank, both in Tyler. Also in Tyler, we went to McDonald's, and my mother asked me, "What do you want, Richard?" And I said, I just want an egg McMuffin and a cup of water." And my mother said, "It's yeah, egg McMuffin. It's a sausage McMuffin with a hash brown sausage McMuffin. Get a sausage McMuffin with a hash brown." I said, "Yeah, a sausage McMuffin and a hash brown." I see. I'll take that. Okay, got it. I didn't eat the sausage McMuffin right away. I just ate it as we like got farther and farther out of Tyler and near the main highway where my dad turned off to get on it to head to Dallas. Um, yeah, I started to eat the breakfast sandwich. Did eat the hash brown. And as we were on the highway, I talked to my dad about what happened. I'm just thinking. I mean, if Britain, if the United States stayed on as the 13 colonies, and just stayed on with Britain and just stayed on as the 13 colonies, I mean, we would morph into a better country. And my dad said, "No, we're not. We're gonna pay higher taxes under a king, and we're gonna just pay higher taxes. All they're gonna do is tax us, tax us, tax us, and we don't have freedom." In the United Kingdom, if you say something bad about the royal family, you'll be punished. And I said, "Well, yeah, that's true, but Jeremy Corbyn, one of the members of the of the of the of the British Parliament in Westminster in London, called Theresa May a buffoon and an idiot. I think that's what she said, and he didn't get in trouble." And my dad said, "Oh, they're Theresa May, the Prime Minister, and Jeremy Corbyn. They're just politicians. They're just politicians. That's all they are. They're just politicians." And my dad just went on and on talking about how bad other countries are, and America's bad, but it's great and it's better than all those other countries. Then he went on about freedom when I asked him about, okay, this freedom you talk about, what does it mean? He said, "Freedom, it's in the Constitution. We hold these evidence that all men are created equal. That all men are created. That all men are created equal. And we have freedom. We can do what we want. And if we didn't have freedom, we couldn't go wherever we want to go. We have to stop at border checkpoints, and we gotta show our papers and passports to go places." I said, "Well, you think the British crown is bad? You think the crown is bad?" "Yeah, because they're gonna tax us too much." And I said to my dad, I think it's just silly. I mean, I heard what my dad said. It was just silly. And also, he was driving way too fast. He was like, the speed limit on the freeway was about 75 miles per hour, and he was going over like 80, 81, 82, 83 miles per hour. And I said to myself, you need to slow down. You're going too fast. And he said, "I know what I'm doing. I'm a police officer." I said, "Well, yeah." I said, if I get pulled over for speeding, I'll just show my badge and I'll just be on my way. Yeah, so yeah, you get away with it. I won't get away with it." He said, "Yeah, you won't get away with it." And I said to him, "Well, if I was a police officer, I'm gonna obey the law just like everybody else if I'm off duty." And he said, "Well, that's your opinion." And I said, "Well, that's not opinion, that's fact. I mean, what happens if you go and kill somebody on the highway? You're gonna pull out your badge and get out of that?" And I think he didn't answer that question. He said something else that wasn't about what I was talking about. Yeah, you know. Yeah, he think he knows what he's doing because he has police training under his belt. And and I talked to him about this cop that he knew, um that was transferred to another department. He was a Texas highway patrolman, a highway patrolman or state trooper of the Texas Highway Patrol of the Texas Highway Patrol branch of the Texas Department of Public Safety. And I asked my dad, is this guy still there? Has he moved? Because I want to meet him. I want to talk to him. And my dad said, "Well, he got transferred. He got transferred to Woodland. That's near Houston. That's way, way, way down south. And all those people that worked in that department got transferred as well." And Okay, yeah, and yeah. And then when we got into Dallas, we went to this K and G store. I think it was in like somewhere in some suburban city. I don't know what city it was, but it was near Dallas. And I went in there. I think before we went in there, before we got there, we were in the car on the freeway. My dad said this. I asked my dad, I need some money. I mean, I don't have any money. I mean, he said, yeah, I got your checkbook. Don't go crazy on everything now. Don't spend your money on everything. I said, what I'm going to spend my money? What I'm going to go crazy on? I mean, what I'm going to buy all the time? I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to buy a lot of stuff because I'm not a big spender. I don't buy a lot of things, but it seemed that like you buy things in America, like everything is just so expensive. Everything costs a fortune, and that hurricane in, that's heading towards New Orleans is yeah it's gonna lead to the gas prices here in America to rise, to go up. Okay, after we went to this K and G K and G store in some suburban city in Dallas. I went in and I didn't I mean I just felt that I was with my mom and dad. My mom and dad, they just shopped. I just felt like an idiot. You know, I wasn't interested in buying clothes. And my parents, they just want to go there and just buy clothes all the time. Yeah. And yeah, and they just want to just buy clothes. Just go to Dallas and just buy clothes. They don't want to go around and do sightseeing, like see the site where John F. Kennedy was assassinated, or going to some old school burger shop, or going to some souvenir shops and seeing all the sights in Dallas. Sorry about that. It was raining, so yeah, I was sitting on a bench in the park, so I want to finish making this video in my car. Anyway, I think I was at the K and B store with my parents, and I was just there. I wasn't interested in buying clothes or anything, so I ventured out of the store and went to some other places in the around that store. I went to the Olive Garden, went in there and went in the bathroom to use the bathroom, and came out. And a lady who was sitting and waiting told me, "Thank you, sir." All robotic and plastic. So I went outside and sat on a bench and just looked around, looked at this crappy city that's near Dallas, wherever I was. That place was a dump. Okay, got up. And walked around. I saw a red Pontiac Grand Prix. It was like a 2007 or 2008 model. Had a spare tire on it. Had a flat tire. It was in bad shape. And I walked towards this Mexican restaurant there. I didn't want to go in there. I mean, I'm not racist. I mean, I got nothing against Mexican people or anything. Should have went in there though. Walked around, went back in the K&G store where my parents were. Then I went back outside, came back in. Then I ran around the park. Then I went outside to run around the parking lot. Then I ran all the way to this abandoned place that used to be a car dealership. Then I ran back to the K&G store, and then went inside and went in the dressing rooms to try on some shoes. Then I went and sat in a chair around the where the shoes were at. Then my dad walked up to me and asked me, "Oh, you didn't fire anything you want?" I said no, and he just walked away. And so I went back outside again. Then I went back in, and my parents were gone. And I went out to my car, and there they were in my car. My dad was sitting in the car, This guy in the car and got in the front seat. My mom and dad said this to me. Where were you? We were looking for you. You can't be running around. My dad was saying this. You can't be running around. This ain't Tyler. I don't live in Tyler. This ain't Tyler. This ain't Tyler. We were looking for you. Where were you? So I was in the store. You can't be walking here. You can't be walking around here. And so so we left, and I turned on the radio to listen to NPR radio, KERA, NPR radio station in Dallas, Fort Worth. You know, I like to listen to NPR radio. You know, listening to the news and listen to like stories about people. You know, very sober, very relaxing, very sober, very educational. It doesn't have all the sound bites. It's not fast paced or anything. Yeah. 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 We left the K&G store. My dad ventured into a parking lot and he got lost. And for some reason, he got back on the freeway, and we were heading towards Mesquite, which is near Dallas. Traffic was very bad. Traffic was very bad. Got off the freeway, went to Burlington Coat Factory, and got out. And I told my dad, I want to go to this furniture store. And my dad said, there's. Wait a second. No, that wasn't right. Actually, we went to another K&G store somewhere in some suburban city in Dallas. I told my dad I wanted to go to Sears Surplus. I'm going to the Sears store. Yeah, I called him when we got into the K&G store. I mean, before I called him and told him I was going to the K&G store, I stood at this checkout counter, and this woman asked me, yes, sir. I mean, yes, sir. I said, I'm just standing here. Say, you waiting for someone? I said, yeah. So, didn't want to do that. I was just disgusted, I called my dad on my smartphone and told him I was going to Sears, and he said, okay. So I called and I went outside, went to Sears, sat on these lawn tractors, and just sat on the lawn tractors, then went inside the store. Now, inside I saw these employees and these customers were standing around, and one of them were folding up a tent, and they were having a hard time folding this tent up. I just stand there and just watched, and an old guy who had his family with him, he turned and smiled at me, and the guy, one of the employees asked me, yes, you need anything? I said, oh, I'm just watching. And he said, oh yeah, he's just watching. And one of them said, oh, you're just watching? I said, yeah. I think a girl said that to me. So yeah, I went to where the appliances were, like the refrigerators and all, and I ran to a Mexican pregnant woman and her sister and her daughter. I just stopped, just let them pass. I didn't want to get in their way or anything. And I walked to where the other appliance was. I went to the snack machine, then I went back to the snack machine, and just got on the box, and just rested my head on the box, and one of the employees came and saw me. Are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. So I went out and went back to where the tents were. The employees folded up the tent and put it away. When they left, I tried to fold up the tent too. So I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, before the employees start got done folding up the tent. I mean, I think after the employees, one of the employees folded up the tent. One of them said, "Well, good, thank God for Google." I mean, I didn't know how to fold these tents up. So yeah, I tried to fold these tents up. I couldn't do it, and I haven't worked in a long time. I've been employed since 2012, and I realized that I had a learning disability. There's certain jobs I can do, there's certain jobs I cannot do, and I get mad and frustrated if I can't do something right. You know, I'll explain that and why I went nuts that day. Um, yeah. Tried to fold up this tent, couldn't fold it up. So yeah, I wasn't angry or anything. So I just popped the tent up and just sat it next to the one on the display. I just walked out and I heard my smartphone ring. I didn't answer it, and I saw my dad in the store. He just did a hand signal telling me to go because we were ready to go. We were ready to leave. Got in the car. My dad said, "Why you didn't answer your phone?" I just didn't want to say anything because I know he's not gonna let me say a word. Why you didn't answer your phone? You should have answered your phone. You should have answered your phone. And my mother said, "Oh, you were acting the fool. You were acting the fool. You had yourself a grand old time." Acting the fool, acting the fool, acting the fool. Like that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I guess I guess my mother said I'm being a fool or some sort. I don't know. Anyway, um, after that, we went to Burlington and Mesquite near Dallas. Got out of the car, told my dad, I want to go to a furniture store. I want to go to that furniture store next to Burlington. My dad said, "Why you want to go there for? You can't afford to buy furniture or anything there. You don't want to be with us." I said, so I went to the furniture store and I met a guy there. And he tried to sell me some. He shook my hand, and I told what my name was. He was doing all the business. The people won't talk to you unless it's business related. They smile and talk as everything's business related bullshit. Yeah. The workaholic society, yeah, and all that. After he talked to me, I went to follow him. I said, "Well, what am I following this guy for? Like, I guess he want to show me something." It was confusing. Yeah, walked around the store, just sat in the chair in the store, just looked at my phone. Couldn't get internet access on it, so left the furniture store and went to Burlington Coat Factory where my parents were. Went there and walked around with my walked around the store, saw a lot of people there, a lot of Hispanic people there, like, I went to the bathroom to use the bathroom, went into went into went to the baby center, ran into some pregnant women there, and before I went to the bathroom, I could hold it. When I went to the bathroom, I went to this room where these two employees are, and I asked them, "Hey, do you have a kiosk where I can fill out an application here?" And one of them said, "Well, you got to fill it out online on the website." I said, "What's the website?" www.burlingtoncoatfactory.com. I said, "Thank you," and she said, "You're welcome." So went to the bathroom, and came out. So I went to the foyer and sat in this chair there, where people walk in and out of the store. And I called my dad and told my dad, hey, well, my dad called me on my smartphone and wanted me to know where I was at. I said, "Well, I'm sitting in the chair in the foyer, in the store. Yeah, when people walk in and out of the store, and he didn't know where I was, and I saw him walking around, and I waved my hand, and he saw me, so we went and left, got together and left. I mean, him and my mom and me, we all left. Um, my dad told me, "Oh, are you hungry? You want something? You want something?" He was talking to my mother. He was talking to my mother. Uh, my mother said, "Well, I want some chicken. I mean, I don't want anything. I don't want." He said, "Yeah, you want some tacos?" I said, I don't want to talk. I want any tacos. I want some at KFC. I mean, you don't like tacos anyway, and you want to talk. You want to go. I mean, you want to go to. I don't want to go to Taco Bueno. I mean, does Richard want to go to Taco Bueno? And my dad asked me, you want to go to Taco Bueno, Richard? I said, yeah. That's all I said. I didn't want to say anything. Um, got to Taco Bueno, I think in Mesquite, and told my dad I want 3 tacos. He ordered I want 3. I told my dad I want 3 tacos and a cup of water. He ordered that. My mother paid for it. I got the 3 tacos and a cup of water. Um, I think and we left and went back home. And on the way home, we saw 2 police cars on the road with with the lights flashing, and 2 cops were walking around. And my dad saw someone laying on the pavement, covered up, and my dad said, "Someone got shot. Someone got shot." I mean, they can't shoot people. My dad said, I guess someone was running and they stole something. I guess those 2 police officers shot him. I mean, the one in South Carolina didn't get away with it. He got jail time for it. He got busted for it. So yeah, on the way home, I asked my dad, hey, did you went to the University of Maryland? Maryland. I was calling Maryland because that's how the British called Maryland, the state on the East Coast. My dad said, "No, I didn't. I went to the University of Maryland." I said, "You didn't go to you didn't go to the university. You didn't go to a university in the state of Maryland." I said, "No, I went to the University of Maryland in Japan." Okay, and I was just boiling. I just lost it because my parents is just so ignorant, loud, rude. They were just they were just stuck in the box. And while I was turning on the air conditioner, I just turned it down low because it wasn't too high. My mother said, "Where are we? Are we in Tampa, Florida? It's hot in here." She was saying all that, all the toxicness, all the ignorant American bravado was just BSing, was just fake and arrogant, was just getting to me. I was I was just growing and growing, just getting ready to lose it. And just before we got home, just before we got home, my mother talked about this furniture store was making. They have furniture from Germany and France, and I told my dad I want to move to France. And my dad started laughing. "Yeah, you gotta laugh." You see, my dad started laughing. He said, "Oh, you gotta have a job. You gotta have a lot of money. You gotta have a lot of money. You want to go to France." Nah, I just didn't say anything else. Then it started to rain, and my dad was driving way too fast. He was going like 81 miles per hour in my own car. And I told my dad, "Will you slow down? You're going too fast." And my dad said, "I know what I'm doing." I told my dad, "Well, you don't have a clue about anything." He said, "No, you don't have a clue." I said, "You don't have a clue." So you have a clue. And I said something that angered my dad. And my dad looked at me and said, you want to fight me? I'll knock you out." I said, "You want to start some static, old man?" And my mother jumped in and said, "You don't talk to your daddy like that. I'll go in. I'll slap the shit out of you." I said, you guys want, okay, you guys want a hillbilly throwdown? My dad said, you don't know what a hillbilly throwdown is. And that's what the point. I just blew up. I mean, my dad drove my car home. I just got out of the car. It was raining. I just went out, stood in the rain, and I just blew up. I just started screaming and yelling and going nuts. And I start running out into this field, screaming and yelling, and laughing and screaming and yelling. Then I walked back. And after that, I fell in this field. Then I got up and turned around and walked back. And my dad just stood there. And when I walked out of the field, my dad just told me, your shoelaces are untied. And I just grabbed the Kiel Central remote from him. And I just started screaming and laughing and clapping my hands. And just laughing and going nuts. And my dad said, no, you ain't getting in my house. So I got in my car. Put the car in reverse, put the car in neutral, and just drive away. My tongue was hanging out, and my eyes were just bulging out of my skull. And when I got to the main highway, got to turn on, I floored and I said, I'm gonna die! And I started screaming and yelling and laughing, and because I just lost it, I just lost it. I mean, turn onto this highway, went to the freeway. I just screamed and laughed, and I was just driving with my tongue hanging out. I just lost it. I was Looney Tunes. Like, I was like this. That's the look I had on my face. Then when I got off the freak on this picnic area, I started clapping my hands and stuff. And I got out of the car and started laughing and giggling. Then I started to get myself together and I started to act normal again. And my dad called me on my smartphone. He said that Rich, I left my phone in my car. Then I listened to the messages that he left, and he said that Rich, I left my phone in my car. I don't care where you are. I left my phone in my car. And I just lost it, and I don't want to explain about why I lost it and why I lost it. Okay, I'm back outside now. Let me finish this video up. Why did I lose it? Well, because people like my father, my sister, my mother, and people who think like my mother and my father, I mean, they're part of American society, which is very toxic, very loop-sided, and just brings out the worst in you. My dad believes in, if something bad happens to you, if someone drives you into doing what you did, it's your fault. It's nobody's fault but your own. And when my dad watched that video from Winston Wu, my dad was obsessed about, why is he blaming someone? I mean, whose fault was it? Was it his fault? I guess it was his fault. He never talks about why isn't it his fault or anything. My dad was just obsessed with that, And my dad doesn't believe in teamwork. He cares very little about others. He thinks he's better than everybody. He has this superiority complex where he just targets people talking about something, and they just talk about something and they're just obsessed with it. And my dad told me that I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to talk to people, and it's the fact that I'm not a people person. And I'm just shy. That's my problem. I'm just shy. I'm just afraid I'm going to say something bad that might offend someone. That's all that is. And people like my dad in America, they just don't have the solutions or answers to anything. I just went nuts, and I probably end up seeing a bunch of shrinks again. because my because because I'm a free thinker. I think outside the box. I'm a deep thinker. And I told my dad that I just don't fit in this country anymore. I just don't fit in here. You know, I just don't like this country because I just don't fit in. And my dad said, "Well, what country are you gonna go to?" I didn't say. I said, "Well, you're gonna leave this country because this is one of the best countries in the world. You can't do what you do in those other countries because they don't have the freedom that we have. If you say something bad about the royal family in the United Kingdom, you will be punished." And there was women in Afghanistan who were raped and murdered, and that's what he said. He just like putting down other countries, and he brought the fact that this country has problems, but he just said that this country is the best. And yeah, I'm gonna say this. People talk about this freedom thing like a shiny beacon of light, and it doesn't. And to me, this full freedom thing doesn't make a lot of sense. You have the freedom to do whatever you want. I mean, you don't have the freedom to come to work anytime you want. You don't have the freedom. You don't have the freedom to do whatever you want because there's rules you have to follow. You have to be at work a certain time. If you come into work late, if you don't come into work, if you come into work late, if you don't come to work on that specific time that your boss wants you to come in, you're going to be fired. You're going to lose your job. And I just couldn't bring that up. Because my dad won't bring up the fact that, well, there's certain things you can go, certain things you can be. There's certain things you can say, you cannot say, and do whatever you want. Because there's rules here. Because America is just full of laws, rules. It's just so. The culture here is just so restricted. It's just so strict, anal, just rude, just anal, and just completely asshole like in nature, and just being a prick. In other countries that are not tyrannical dictatorships, as long as you pay your bills, pay your taxes, you can do whatever you want. You can. I don't know if that's true or not. If any one of you are from another country, you can light me in on this. And I want to go back to universal health care. It's dubbed that it's bad, it's so communist. The taxes are high. It's so bad, and the doctors will hold you at gunpoint to treat you. You won't be treated, and where the money comes from on this. It's deemed like it's so bad. And I went and checked out the movie Sicko. And in the United Kingdom, in the NHS, for your prescription medicine, if you have your medication, I guess it's $6.65. That's the charge, and it's like this. And I heard this: if you're 16 years old or under the age of 60, you're exempt from paying for medication. But if you have a job, if you're working, you have to pay for your medication and everybody else's medication. If they're not working, or if they're 16 years old or under the age of are under the age of 60. I mean, some sort. I mean, your medication is free. I think I got that right. Also, a guy that got hurt, who tried to walk across Abbey Road on his two hands, the same place that the Beatles walked across. When he broke his arm, his stay at a hospital in Britain, at a British hospital, was free, and he had to pay like $10 for his medication. I think this is true. And I heard that the healthcare in France is the best, and it's number one, and people don't have to go, and people don't have to people there, like, who live in France, like, have the best healthcare. And I know this is going to go to, oh, the taxes are high and people are homeless, and if you're homeless, you won't be able to pay the bills. And this is what my dad told me on universal health care. And he told me it's not perfect. And it's like foreigners who complain about their health care in foreign countries, and people in America who hate universal health care. They say that the health care is the best, and America is the best. America is better. America is the best, and America is better. And that's what they're saying. Sorry about that. I had my hand on the camera lens. Hope you guys heard what I was saying. It says it's the best. It's the best in the world. And it's not great here. When I lost it, after hearing that from these people, including my father, I just lost it. I just went crazy. And my dad said, you were far gone. I didn't know you were that far gone. Meaning that I'm a nutcase, because I showed him that video from Winston Wu and talked about what Winston Wu talked about. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm not gonna talk about healthcare, or how great, or how things are in Europe, how things are here in America. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm just going to stay away from politics altogether. I am. Because I am, because people in America are just stuck in a box, and they just don't have a clue of what's going on, and they're just drowning in their ignorance, and they don't know what's going on. And they think that everything in Europe is bad and everything in America is great. And people in foreign countries, not all of them think that way. And not all people in America think that America is the great, and healthcare in America is great. And I'm just going to say this. The last time I checked, there were 6 million Americans, and I think that number is growing, who are living overseas. They're living in foreign countries, and they're not coming back. And I heard people, African Americans who live in America, are going to move to Ghana and Africa and live there. And these people are not stuck in a box. And they see how America is, and they see how other countries are, and they're leaving, and they're not coming back. They're gone. They're not coming back at all. I'm thinking about joining these people. And what's the point? Just staying here in a toxic, friendly, uneducated society like the U.S. And and Canada is very similar as well on this. What's the point of staying in North America? What's the point? And and these guys that went on these mass shootings like Elliot Rogers, George Soudini, Nicholas Cruz, and Dimitri, whatever his name is, the Santa Fe shooter here in Texas. I mean, why these guys did what they did? Because they can't find anybody to talk to. And Nicholas Cruz lost his girlfriend. I mean, he couldn't find anybody else, and that's why he went on that shooting rampage. And and I'm just afraid that I'm just going to end up like these guys. You know, the problem is America is just stuck in a box, and they just don't have a clue, and they don't care. And I guess it's like this. I mean, if you're stuck in a box, if you're ignorant of the world and just look at things the way they are, through an ignorant, clueless, stuck in a box American, and just talk like everybody else and think like everybody else, you're free. I guess I gotta start thinking like this, because if I don't think like this, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get shot and killed, or I'm gonna be deemed as a nutcase. I don't know. I'll just probably just leave altogether. Just leave this country. Because what's the point of staying here? I mean, stuck here, never getting a girlfriend, never having a wife out of that girlfriend, never having any friends, just stuck here. And my dad brought up my brother, who was killed in a car accident. And my late brother, who was a police officer like my father. And my dad brought this up to him, and my dad told me this when I was telling him about how things are in America. My dad said, "Your brother, he got along with people. He got along with everybody." Well, yeah, because he was fake. He was stuck in the box. And my dad said, "He wasn't fake." And well, I'm gonna be honest with you, he was. And my brother, he was running around dating gold diggers, women who didn't care nothing about him. And he had a daughter by a gold digger. He had a daughter by a gold digger. And she's mildly retarded. She has a form of mild mental retardation, because she was born with water on the brain. And the healthcare here in America, the hospital that she was in just allowed that water on her brain to affect her mind and made her the way she is. I mean, if they detected this and got to her on time and got this water off her brain, I mean, she'll be as normal as everybody else. I mean, but she'll have problems, but she'll be as normal as everybody else. I mean, and she will. I mean, she won't be this overweight grown woman who's in her 20s, who has diabetes now, who just want to eat a lot of sugar all the time. Just eat sugar all the time. I mean, she wouldn't be like this at all. And it's just sad, that guy in Canada talk about children who are born with mild mental retardation because of the healthcare in Canada. I mean, what my niece went through is something that the healthcare in the U.S. will do. And he dubbed that both healthcare in America and Canada are bad, and some sort the healthcare is great. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense. I mean, and these Americans who preach about freedom all the time, freedom, free, if we stayed on as the 13 colonies of Britain and morph into another country, it'll be a mess. And this is from my mother, and this is from my sister. what's the point? What's the point of staying here? What's the point of just talking about out of the box stuff to a bunch of stuck in the box Americans and people from other countries? I'm not gonna say all Americans are stuck in the box or are just toxic or just inept. I'm not gonna say all Americans are like this. I'm not gonna say all Canadians and all people from other countries are like this. There's some people in America and Canada and countries in Europe who are not stuck in a box. I mean, they're with it. And they know what's good and what's bad. And they know it. And they believe and they probably believe in what I believe. And they do. Cuz here in America, I just don't fit in here anymore. I just don't fit in this country anymore. I just don't. And I'm probably going to see a shrink after I lost it, after I just went crazy and ran out in that field in the rain near my parents' house. So yeah, that's all I got to say in this video. I bet this video is super long. I hope I'm not saying the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Later. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to thank Winston Wu for showing me the light. I subscribed to his YouTube channel after I watched his videos telling me the truth about America and myself. Yeah, before I discovered Winston Wu, I used to let people get to me. I lose it, go angry, and just go and destroy things and hurt people and get in trouble over it. But I kind of got fired over this at jobs I had in the past. But after discovering Happier Abroad and listening to Winston Wu's message, and he was telling me he was saying about all the toxic problems in America and how toxic people are, and why people drive. And I found out why people drive me to doing things that I do. And he talked about in America we're taught to blame ourselves and not society and the people that make us do the things that we do. And after watching his videos and on his Happier Abroad YouTube channel and reading the forums and testimonials out of the Happier Abroad site, I found out that it wasn't me all along. It was the society that and the people that were making me doing this. And I showed this to my dad. My dad doesn't believe it and believes in blaming yourself. If you did this, it's your fault. You did this to yourself. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that anymore. Everything is your fault. Blame yourself. Don't blame others. I'm deemed as a nutcase, but you know what? I don't care. I really don't care. And I'm probably gonna see a bunch of therapists again. But I'll probably gonna just say something to them, or they probably wouldn't care. I'll probably just walk out of the place altogether and just waste all my money on this. I really don't care, because the way I see it, I think America, Canada, and North America in general are all just clueless, brain dead, and just sick in the head and evil. Alright, that's all I gotta say.